Hey, so good morning, everyone. And this morning, we'll be having a year-ender report, and this report will help us to know all the significant events of what happened to me, and my mother this year. And as 2019 comes to a close in the next couple of days, we will be officially welcoming 2020. So, without further ado, let's now dig deeper uh, to all the significant events of what happened to me this year on this year-ender report. So let's start first with January. So January 2019, my mother went to Taiwan, Japan, and Ilocos province. And I entered second year, second term college at the same time. And aside from January, on February, my mother was admitted to the hospital and stayed there for a few days and was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And couple of weeks later, my mother went to Japan again together with her PGG, her fellow office mates from the Paredes, Garcia, and Goles Law Office, or PGG. March, I turned 20, Kobe turned 9, and that is the start of my, at the time it was my mother's chemotherapy. And let's never forget, last February 13 until February 14 until the final exams of Kobe for the third grade, what it was the gadget ban of my younger brother, by the way. So anyway, so let's go back to March. So as I said, I turned 20, Kobe turned 9, and the start of my mother's chemotherapy. Okay? March until September. Okay? April, South Korea trip, and also the continuation of my mother's chemo. But aside from that, last March, I never forget that I went to the gym for the first time, by the way. Okay? After April, let's move on to May. I voted for the first time because that is part of my state obligations as a Filipino citizen. My mother turned 40, and also it's the continuation of my mother's chemotherapy, and that's all. And for June, we my younger brother entered grade 4, and our equipment from our Sikat condo in Pasig were moved away as everything was transferred here, or the migration rather, everything to here. It's a continuation of my mother's chemo, and I attended the retreat the recollection in SDA in Manila, and watch the Swan play in Kia Theater, or New Frontier Theater, together with my grandparents, um, Tito Mike, the father of Tito Mike. And so for July, that's what happened. And thus, on the night of July 11, my younger brother Kobe was in bad behavior, and because of this, and what I heard from mom is that is what bad parents do. And 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 also, while I was asleep, I heard the shouting and the yelling of my mother to Kobe, and she was in hot water, very hot water at the time, and very stressed. And then on the day, and on July 12, um, Ate is the same, was at the time she was on a short leave of absence, and also, and then and a few days later at the same return, and after that on July on the latter on the second to the last week of July, Ate Joanne Medalo came to our house. And then for August, aside for August, for me, we attended the birthday of Sefi, the daughter of one of the Batalia families. Right? Okay. From August, we move on to September. Right? September. What happened was, first, during the rep month's class, some of my students did not observe proper decorum, which led to my professor, Sir J. Kwe, step out for the next couple of minutes, and then he came back just before 7. And then a few days later, my driver Kuya Robert turned 50, and also we celebrated the birthday of Lolo Nonay, and we just never forget last August we attended the Japanese class for the first time, and also on anyway. So let's go back to September. September, that's the month where my mother ended her chemotherapy, and it almost rest for almost a month. And then after that, around late October until November 19, my mother had a series of radiation, the final step towards the end of her sickness in connection to her sickness called stage 3 breast cancer. And also on October, I would tell, aside from all the significant events, I will all recall all the trips, the positive and the cons of this year. Okay, in November, we had the service learning activity. October, we had our first Rapman support for the finals, and everything improved for Rapmans on time. We finished it early and on time. And after that, on November, my mother returned to work on November 20 onwards. And then on December, what happened? We recently had a family gathering during Christmas Day. And then, as this was saying, possibly never come back. And that's what mommy told me yesterday. That during the family and staff meeting, during our family staff meeting, possibly one of the staffs came just before January 6. Okay, so that's it for all the significant events. Let us now move on to the negative for 2019. So for the 2019 negative things, staff's already been rejected by mommy. Like first on April was at the MJ, and then later on July we have another staff has been rejected. It's Ate Josephine or Ate Jo and Ate Baby. And also recently it's Ate Joanne and and also for Ate saying possibly to be determined if she will be rejected or not. Hashtag rejected. Okay. Aside from that, and also we throughout this year we also had some changes of the management, like Ate Susin returned since April and she didn't come back since Christmas Day. Ate Joji, the farmer yaya of Kobe, returned also on a part-time basis to clean the house, to collect the laundry always, syempre. And also, she went here for 3 times a day. Okay? Aside from this, Kuya Robert will also remain here in this house because he is part of the drivers of our family. So, aside from these events in this connection to the Yearender Report, for our trips, right? For our trips, for overseas trips, we have Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea. For our domestic trips, Ilocos Province, Zambales, Pangasinan, and Benguet. Okay? So that's it for all the highlights of all the significant events and activities of what happened to me this year, 2019. And as I said, as we close this year, we will make sure that by 2020, we will wish you all the best for 2020 and a couple of years to come. And also, dapat by 2020, ang expect natin ay dapat bagong buhay, new life, new beginnings. To new beginnings. Okay? And also, As 2019 comes to a close, and as we close it with a high note on December 31st this year, we will say goodbye to 2019 and hello to 2020. Dapat, pagsapit ng taon na yon, dapat maging positibo, bagong buhay, at higit sa lahat, dapat maganda at masipag. At dapat tanggalin mo yung mga kasalanan ninyo noong 2019. Dapat mag-move on na kayo, guys, for 2020. As I conclude from this Yearender Report for 2019, I will now wish you guys a Happy New Year and let us all welcome 2020 with pride. This is Carlos Kanahashi. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this report, the Yearender Report. And good morning. Thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. And Happy New Year.